Hello, hi, and welcome to what is today to be, apparently, it seems, at the very least, Prophecy 3. Oh, I didn't even put it in the title. So hasty I am today. So I went back and I gave the other prophet, not two, it's three. I gave the other prophecies slightly more prophetic titles because I was like, what's the point of a prophecy if it's not you know, like that? So the last one was easy. And then when I was doing it, it reminded me of like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. The first one was the most difficult, I guess, because it had been a minute since I had read it. But of course, this card will come out of the cut. I'm going to need my glasses. Ooh. Prophecy 3 is today. So today's prophecy is the one with the star on the bottom. It comes from some piece of Italy. And what else? I don't know. I almost feel like I want to use a spread for this one. I don't have my phone, which means that I can't show you the bottle. I don't know where my phone is, but apparently I'm not supposed to have it right now. So if you go back to one of the last three videos I've done, you'll see in a picture. If you go to the end of the last video, I'm pretty sure I was like, this is the one that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. And you can see it there. It's the one that looks like the star. And it's interesting because in the first prophecy, the star came out and it wasn't pouring water. It was at the bottom of the deck. Oh, no, I'm like, I could have used the Astro Matrix Tarot. The star came out and it wasn't pouring any water, but on the third bottle, on the bottle itself, maybe this is the water straight from the jug of Aquarius. It's the ambrosia, nectar of the cosmic celestial body gods. And I'm using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot because it is one of my more abstract, but not in the Dali Tarot type of way. I don't know. It's one of my looser ones. I almost went for the Quantum Tarot too. And I almost wish that there was a biblically accurate Angel Tarot deck that I had. Because I would have went for that. But not the... Do I have an Angel Tarot? I have the Archangel Power cards. I have the Angel Tarot. I don't think I have an Angel Oracle deck though. But I don't know. It didn't feel like one of those super almost frilly ones. So a biblically accurate Angel Tarot would be amazing. I know on the Angel Tarot they have biblically accurate forms, at least on some of them it seems. But I was looking for more an Oracle vibe. But I guess I haven't super been using a lot of Oracle. Well, I guess I use the Mystical Shaman and the Lafruma. So anyway, the Prophecy 1 had plants. Prophecy 2 was normal. The back of Prophecy 3 mentioned minerals. So if I didn't like the taste of grass, maybe I'll love the taste of pebbles. I'm like, who does this? Not me, typically. So before, I haven't taken a sip yet, but I did eat before I did this. And I did rinse my palette and the cup with a glass of water before I started this to hydrate a little bit. So I am a little full, but I will proceed nevertheless. Oh, look at this. I got to separate them because I don't want reversals. Is this the only card in reverse? It's looking like it. Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, this was all upright. Where did this reversal come from? Self is in reverse, which is 14, which is Temperance. Temperance is a card that also doesn't pour the water out onto the land in the way that the star does. It usually pours it from one cup to another. And tempering is something that you do with alcohol. And I've got food in my belly and some water and in me. So hopefully this, because I don't know, the rosé kind of hit me yesterday. Yesterday kind of hit me a little harder than I thought it would, but it was fine. But still. So, any pre-prophecy messages? I see wisdom at the cut with this ace of water. The ace of cups came out yesterday. It was the seahorse that held the pearl that was the message from the messenger of water. All right. So, there we go. Well, that's where we begin. The Ace of Cups has come out, has made an appearance with the heart being there. And also we have faith, number 24. It's this angel with all of these animal spirits next to it. There's this golden lotus held at the heart, and then there's this heart-shaped cutout where the eye of the sun peers through. Now, the wings of that angel are making me think like they carry a similar tonality to the heart in this ace of water. And it's interesting because before this, I was thinking like it's the time of, it's like people's ancestors, angels, guardians, and guides ain't necessarily playing right now. I don't know if they ever play. I don't know if they're ever like, haha, jokes on whoever. There are some things that are for us to learn. There are some things that are for us to unlearn. And there are some things that we've already mastered well enough that we don't have to learn anymore. And the messenger of water, like that was basically her first message. It's like something that does not need to be experienced. So there's something that can be circumnavigated. And then the Ace of Cups, that was the seahorse that held the pearl. The seahorse is the one that the messenger of water was talking to. So first we saw the messenger, then we saw who she's talking to, who she talked to. And now here's this ace of water. And I guess that's the interesting thing between, I wonder if these are almost the same size as the Good Tarot. This is another deck that uses elemental names that I have rather than, elemental symbols, but it uses elemental names rather than the suits or rather than having suits. It's fire, air. It was either in the first, no, it was before the first prophecy when I was using the dice, and there was the 4 and the 7. And I can't remember if that's the same reading where there were things circulating the collective human subconscious that were looking for a vessel, but kind of struggling to find one. But whenever the 4 and the 7 came out, because first it was the 3 and the 6. It was the sacral, no, it was the solar plexus and the third eye. And then it went up to the heart and the crown. And when it was the heart and the crown, there was an energy of like how our heart is one of the things that lead us to interpreting prophecy, or it becomes a filter on our discernment that we use to make sense of the things that we intuit. And it's like there are certain things that a heart would and wouldn't do. like a heart that is on, and a heart that truly genuinely cares. There are certain things that that heart would never do. And so there are certain ways of interpreting prophecy, or there are certain ways of making sense of the sign, symbol, synchronicities, and things that we intuit, that that heart like would never even, like, it wouldn't be within their realm of consideration. And so it was, so maybe it was in the same reading, because it was almost a little bit like maybe that's why some of this stuff is still floating the collective subconscious, because there isn't a heart that is, there isn't a heart necessarily online within a being that is geared towards whatever that thing is, because not everything is for everyone. And for the ones who would pursue that thing, or who are more uh, soul compatible with it. Soul compatible just like being passionate. Like for those who would be passionate about it enough to bring it into reality, the hearts aren't necessarily whatever. Because maybe it's still a little bit like, well, that's great in theory, but it doesn't make money or whatever. Whatever exists that would prevent those who are able, well, yeah, who are able and capable from like manifesting it or bringing it into reality, whatever that is. I don't know. But it was the heart. But it, because it was almost like, because of the state of the heart, sometimes there are certain things that, again, it just floats the collective subconscious. Like the crown doesn't even catch it or pick up on it, because it's almost like it would be an automatic no. It's like trying to get Ebenezer Scrooge to do something for somebody else pre Three Ghosts of Christmas. After, yeah, sure. But before he was visited by them, of course not. So he's like not even in no way aligned to that. Sorry, I must have hit that. Look at her. My eyes shaking, or is the camera shaking? So, but with this, and maybe that's a part of yesterday, because yesterday had the lightning that existed. It was the lightning, Vision Quest, and the tower. And but it was a tower with a clear sky. So it's the lightning is happening in this plane, or within this realm of possibility that the tower does not exist in. It's so far separate from physical reality that there's no way, even though the spire of the tower is this metal, perfectly capable of conducting electricity thing, that tower wasn't getting struck. But here's the heart. The Ancient Ones was a card I saw a few times under the bottom card in whatever half of the deck it was in yesterday. But this is the heart that is online. And it's because the heart is online, again, that it's like it gives this angel its wings, and it creates this. It's like now the heart is this portal through which those things can be accessed. Which lends itself, partly at least, to the empowered collective of yesterday. The bottom of the deck is the Two of Earth. Which is interesting. And then there's emotions. I've been seeing this emotions card as I've been shuffling the deck. I'm not going to take it, but what's interesting is it's almost like here's that same third eye, that same intuitive link in both the physical material and the spiritual, energetic, subtle, unseen, all of that which is yet to be. But it's in like this portal here, and she's holding these eggs. So it gives her, through the connectedness of her heart, the access, permission. It's not really permission, But it's like it gives her access to those ideas, to those higher levels, those things that lead to higher potentials of human evolution and growth and development. Um, Gives her the ideas, and then it's like within her mind, heart, body, soul, and life, she's able to come up with these different ways through which that thing can manifest from over here to over here on the material, on the physical. Now, there are 3 animals here, and there are 4 eggs. So it's almost like each animal has an egg, even though, wolves don't hatch from eggs, but turtles and cranes do. I mean, I guess if you consider internal eggs to be eggs, then yeah. There's one more egg than there are. Oh, because the 4th egg is her. There you go. Almost like who she becomes at the end of it. Cool. It's the heart that's noticed, though. All right, I'm ready for my first sip of this mineral wine. I really hope this doesn't taste like rocks and sand and gravel. This one is probably my favorite of the 3. Even though it's very it's very punchy. I don't know how to. I can't remember if Eve was like. I don't remember which one. Maybe she said. If she said the Pinot Grigio, then this one is the best. She might have said the Pinot Grigio. It's very just like it's strong up front, but it's almost immediately subtle. Like it's very sharp. And I remember oh snap, it's my brother. I actually, maybe I'll do that for the pick a wine. Because I have a shot glass that I got from Holy Island. And then I have a mug that I got from the gift shop on Holy Island. Not the gift shop. Because I got the shot glass from one, and then I think I got the mug from where I met that Viking. Bro. And I don't know if I have a third one. There's actually one at the card store that I've been looking at for a minute. Every time I go there, I'm doing all right. How are you? Did that new One Piece come out tonight? Yeah. I just woke up like 3 hours ago. Yeah, because I remember that one being as like if pungent is to the nose as that one was to the taste buds. But this I don't actually mind. I'm surprised because it said mineral, but I guess mineral water is a thing. Grass water isn't as much, but I guess cucumber water is. So just like yesterday, and well, no, we got 2 cards earlier. One card came out face down. The bottom of the deck is the 2 of air, which is duality, which is seeing both sides. There are the scales that we've been seeing. And then here's this alignment right in the center. So this is capable of balancing both the light and the dark. Interesting. And we have both the material, physical, and the spiritual here. So maybe it's speaking more to the material and immaterial. Masculine, feminine is behind that. This one is my favorite so far. Number 3, I could actually drink. Number one, for sure, no. Number two, I guess, if I had to. Number three, yeah. Now, would I like, am I going to go looking for it? Maybe. Just to have a wine to drink sometimes that's not like, ooh, that one got a little puffy. To have a wine to drink that's not just like juice. Maybe Pinot Grigios aren't for me. Yeah, it's the most pleasant to me. Um, the two of water. Oh, snap. Oof. What is up with this? The two of earth, the two of air, the two of water. The only two I haven't seen yet is the two of fire. Two, two, two. Twos are about duality, about both sidedness. That is my brother. Call him Muffin. Somebody called him by his first name. And I was like, oof, call him by his second name. That is another spawn of my number one fan. We are her children. Excuse me. The two of water. Maybe this speaks back to the myriad things. Oh, you're fine. I don't even know if I could change my name on this channel because I made the channel before Google bought YouTube. So, I'm just happy to get all of I can see like community posts on this channel now. Excuse me. I literally went to the restroom before I went live. I already have to go again. This is going to be one of those ones where I run to the bathroom constantly, isn't it? So, the two of water is here. What's interesting is it's giving me this heart glow between them. So, there's an element of co-creation here. I mean, this two of cups, this two of water leads to a three, Wouldn't be surprised if it popped out. Then I guess this could be the child of those two. That has characteristics and aspects of both of them. I got a fortune today. And and then masculine / feminine is here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, 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 yep. Now this is within oneself balancing these forces. This is with another balancing those forces. Interesting. Masculine, feminine is the 11 of water. And 1 + 1 does equal 2. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the restroom. I gotta go potty. I literally went maybe 25 minutes ago. Okay, I'll be right back. I will return shortly. Woo! So now I'm like, maybe I'll do, when I do the pick a prophecy, it'll be a wine and a cup or goblet. You know, I might do that. And then if I do that, I feel like I should use a Lenormand, because there'll be the one Lenormand for the wine and then the one Lenormand for the cup. And then I'll put it together and we'll see what it makes. Okay. It's interesting that masculine, feminine, and this balance came out, and then we get all this almost physical and spiritual, material and immaterial energy with this two of cups here, two of water with their embrace, because prophecy one saw the empress come out, prophecy two saw the emperor, and then here's prophecy three with this masculine, feminine, with this balance of uh I want to say polarities, but I feel like the word is almost a little not overused or overplayed or whatever, but like with all of these twos, it's like masculine, feminine, it's physical, spiritual, it's almost polarity in most ways that we think of polarity. See, the more I drink it now, I'm like, it's still the best of the three. All right. What else have you to reveal? Prophecy 3. I want to use decks that I haven't used yet for this one. Oh, of course. The King of Water is at the bottom of the deck, giving Neptune energy. Ooh. Okay. The King of Water is at the bottom of the deck. The card that came out is the Six of Fire. So far we have water, earth, water, air, fire, fire, water. Two waters, two fires, one air, and one earth. Loving the water fire coming through a little bit more. I was almost, well, no, because it was primarily earth, but with water in the first one. The second one was a lot more airy. So I didn't know if like fire would come more into play in this one. Of course, it's this, well, not of course, but the Six of Fire is here. And the Six of Fire is a card that is not very infrequent to come out here. But it is coming out a little differently here. Oh. Oh, it's here too. I didn't even notice it. So I guess this is going to be our key player today. I was talking about the Void. The Void came out yesterday and the day before. Like it feels like the character in the back is our. Usually, when I see this card, we are no figure presented, but the observer of the scene. And this is can often be like some big bad, almost Hierophant energy, but it's almost feeling like today this is us. And then I notice we have that third eye there. But this third eye, like the one on masculine, feminine, is not obscured. Like we don't see the bottom of the eye either here or here. So this feels like us. This feels almost a little bit like tempering. And temperance was the 14 that came out. Also, with this card, I'm not surprised that temperance came out with both the mention of masculine and feminine. The energy of temperance is heavy here. But it's like, instead of this character tempering themselves, it is in touch and in tune with these external forces. And it's like it's getting them to do whatever. And then it holds up its hand. And then I'm putting, right? And then the King of Water is here at the bottom of the deck. Now, the King of Water, because of these seahorses, it's making me think the messenger of water was sent on behalf of the king. Just like in the SKT, the strongholds, the pages are messengers of whoever else in that court or within that suit. And that's not something that's, specific, because pages in tarot are bringers of messages, can also symbolize children and a bunch of other stuff. But this is like, it's an operational balance. Like, it's a balance that's used to create, sustain, maintain things. And of course, this is making me think of the Ten of Fire, because of all of this up here in particular. And it feels like the cup, being the water, being the emotions, being the heart, because that's how we've seen the cup this time. Especially, it's almost like just nothing. Well, there you go. You didn't have to change your name. I wasn't going to say anything, but there you go. Oh, snap. So it feels like whenever the proper balance is struck, then the cup will start to overflow and it'll overrun. And I've never noticed these drops of water and this pool of water that nourishes the life here. And at first I'm like, well, it's under this person. So is that person somehow providing water? Is the water dripping from his blade to nourish the life created by his blade? But then I also see, it's kind of dripping from the cup. But it's feeling like it's this guy. Like, that's the one that waters the seeds. Also, with this King of Water, we have Neptune on the third eye. Excuse me. Oh, okay. And this time we have this like lunar third eye rather than the solar third eye that we've been seeing. And it's triple goddess third eye. So is that feminine third eye energy versus masculine third eye energy, which is interesting because at the third eye, they both sort of meet. And then at the crown, they meet again. There's a inversion that happens at the third eye. It's like the left channel becomes the right and the right channel becomes the left. And then at the crown, they meet again. It's like this. Where my fingers meet is the crown, where my arms meet is the third eye. And then perception is behind that. Perception and healing. Ooh. Perception is interesting though because emotion has been coming up. So, what else can I say about this King of Water? It's Neptune. It's lunar third eye. The bubbles make me think of. Oh, there are bubbles in the Two of Water too. The bubbles make me think of Sonic, which also makes me think of a game that I was just playing. Destiny. I was like, what is it? The new whatever season, the new campaign expansion. Oh, is my hair long enough to do this now? Of Destiny, they have you like, you have to go to, it's not Neptune. It's a water moon. Is it Titan? It might be Titan. There's a moon that goes missing in Destiny at some point. I'm not caught up on this. Every 6 to 8 to 12 months, I'll get on Destiny and I'll make it to the end of. I'll make it to the end of the reintroduction to the story, and then I'll stop playing again. Because I was hoping to have somebody to play with. But don't none of my friends play Destiny no more. I mean, there's a few that might, but I don't really talk to them anymore. Anyway, it's fine. I think Io came back on the last one, but it's like Titan had disappeared because there was something on Titan that could help them defeat. Is his name the Witness? If it's the Witness, that'd be interesting because the Witness came out with a lower world yesterday. But there's this water part, and they're like, the pressure is too great. You'll be crushed and killed. And then there are the air bubbles. It's like Sonic. In the underwater levels, there are the air bubbles for you to refill your lungs with oxygen so you can survive down there. It's like Sandy's helmet in SpongeBob, except her backpack has gills that can turn the surrounding water into air. Hey, David, how you doing? For her. But I'm looking, because like there are air bubbles here, and there are air bubbles on this Two of Water as well. And it's almost like it's these pockets of air that help us get this deep within the water. Now, there's also gear that helps one withstand the pressure. But I guess that's the thing about us air breathers going underwater. It's like not only do we need to be able to get air, but we also need to be able to withstand the pressure. Oh my gosh. Here's emotions again. I shuffled the deck, I set it down, and emotions is here. So I went from perspective to emotions. And then there's choice. Choice is behind emotion. With journey behind choice. And that sort of dual energy, and the one who ventures on both. But anyway, the heart also makes me think, well, because we see a heart down there, don't we? So this one is deeply internal. Now, for me, water is the essence and fire is the soul. And the only difference between the soul and the essence is that the soul is. The essence is our understanding of it. The essence is the manifestation of the soul. Like our essence is the things that we not necessarily choose to be, but it's like they're the parts of the greater whole that we act out, play out, manifest, carry with us in whatever moment of our lives. And the soul is the greater sum total collective of who we are in every way. Now I could use the Lafrima to look before and after Wackened, because I think Wackened is Animal Watcher and Guide. But like I said yesterday, there was the witness in the lower world that was the coyote, or was it the jaguar? And I feel like there was something that I didn't throughout the course of reading Prophecy 2.2. It came out, but like it peeked, it poked its head up, but I don't think I mentioned it. I almost feel like there's something missing in between the previous rows and this row. It's almost like there's at what point do we become this rather than focusing on these two? Is it that the king of water can see beyond the veil of illusion of separation and stuff? This king of water sends messages both ways. So there's the piece and part of the message that we saw in Prophecy 1 and Prophecy 2.2. Prophecy 1 was the messenger of water. Prophecy 2.2 was the ace of water that was the seahorse. But it's like there was a message that was also sent in the other direction that no prophecy up until this point has picked up on or has focused on. It hasn't been a focal point of Prophecy 1 or Prophecy 2 so far. But in Prophecy 2, it's almost implied because of the witness in the lower world. The witness in the lower world being the coyote is like the representative from the direction where that message was received. Like we've been focusing on this side. This is the seahorse that approaches us with the messenger of water. That's the one that goes on the other side. And so it's almost like the other side, because it's the coyote, in a provocative way, tests us to see if we're mature enough or open-hearted enough, kind enough, compassionate enough, empowered enough, whatever, enough to be a cooperating piece. And maybe that's where it comes in, where there are certain things that a heart that cares would never do, regardless of circumstance. And it's the one from the other side that will bring about those circumstances, maybe, to test us and to see what we do. It is almost a test of maturity. And there's no wrong answer, because if we're not ready, we're not ready. And if we aren't ready, then there will be like other pathways for us to walk and we can still live a fulfilling life, right? It's like if you become an artist rather than being a doctor, you can still live a fulfilling life as an artist where you can impact people, just like you can live a fulfilling life as a doctor where you can help people. We have the capability to not miss out, and the divine is smart enough, intelligent enough, compassionate enough, wise enough, kind enough to still have us, if we choose, to lead us towards places where we can find happiness and peace and stuff like that, regardless of the things that we didn't or did choose in the past. And maybe that's why the moon is here, or this lunar third eye is here. So maybe there's the part and piece of the intuition that is more so along the lines of things that we see or interact with in our day-to-day lives. Excuse me. And then there's the part and piece that is more tuned into the domino effect. Right. Because sometimes it's like it's fated meetings and encounters type of energy. That came out. Was that yesterday? And maybe that's like, because it wasn't missed connections, but it was like a missed connection that had met. I guess that becomes a fated encounter. What isn't a missed connection is a fated encounter. It's a fated encounter type of energy. And we are where we need to be. Others are where they need to be. The situation, circumstances line up where it just perfectly, naturally fits and aligns. And so maybe this isn't even like, maybe this is like the messages and intuition, discernment, guidance that we receive and enact. And then that's the same for others. Because again, the two of air is implying a balance within the self, whereas this two of water is implying an ability to fully, wholly cooperate with another. Because we are balanced within ourselves, and because others are balanced within themselves, we can meet truly, fully, wholly, and not like project on one another and get all weird and force similarity where there doesn't necessarily need to be, where we can truly, fully see each other as each other rather than reflections of each other or whatever. But as long as you need a mirror, you will encounter them. And maybe that's also, maybe that's the part that leads to us being this rather than focusing on this. It's almost like with that two of air, when we can balance and self-regulate, then we can show up with others who self-regulate. Like this is us and our self-regulation. This is someone else and their self-regulation, but they're sort of depicted as two different beings or whatever. That could also be the opportunities that we face, the different pathways or whatever. You can become a doctor or you can become an artist. At that point, like you know that it doesn't matter which path you choose ultimately, because you're going to be able to do the things that you want to do and you're going to be fulfilled and happy and everything. It's just the one that you wish to take right now. Then it becomes less about right or wrong or more or less and more about what we want to experience. Okay. I'm almost feeling like it's approaching that time to grab another deck. Well, we'll see. I'll give it 3 shuffles. 2 more. 1 more. Last one. Yep, nothing. Bottom of the deck is thought. And we see both masks in the deck. And then that point of illumination above her crown there. That cauldron with the pentacle on it, it's almost like the things that we put into the world. So then it becomes, it's almost like it's this energy, but rather than it being like sitting back and being almost a little bit more passive, it becomes a little bit more active. Like, what am I going to add to the pot either way to get this? This becomes a lot more alchemical, which is cool. Where do I go from here, though? I'll grab the Lafruma. I'll pull before and after Wackend, and I'll let that, I guess, guide me to what deck I want to go to next. But I am going to shuffle it first. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Day purge. Speaking of a balance of light and dark meeting in the middle. All right, one more. I'm not even going to cut it. I am going to look from the bottom, though. So we have Ash, of course. I've used Lafruma too much, and I've not seen Ash nearly enough. Ash, Gutton, Ganunga Gap. Maybe that's why I haven't been seeing Ash as much, because this gutting resolve has been popping up more, and it opens us up more to the void of potential, and then there's all Scod mouth under it. Cool. All right. Who am I looking for? Wackens, I'm pretty sure. Animal Watcher. No, not Wackend. I have the rune in my mind, but I mixed up the name. Wackend is the one that came out yesterday. That was Wackend and Us. Wake and Originate, Sap Impassioned. Not Wickedcraft. I'm pretty sure it starts with a W, though, right? And I'm pretty sure it's on the top right side of the card. Yeah, it is Wackend. Okay, I was right. Also, I watched part of the video back yesterday. 64 is the number that came out, not 46. I was like, I know I've seen 46, right? No, it was 64. So, guess what card came out before Wackend? I'll give you a second. If you said Days, you would be correct. The one that I literally just saw. Days, Wackend, and Candle. Candle and Daystar. So it is, oh my gosh, 2442. Wackend is a 10. 10s are beginnings and endings. Hey, glad to hear you enjoyed your vacation. 24, Wackend, 42. Interesting. Oh. Day's just day. And then Daystar is candle. Daystar, this is a light that can be seen even during the day. That's how bright it is. And that it's making me think of whatever this glow is, whatever this glow is that keeps coming out. It's like in this six of fire, we found a way to operate from that place or to engage it in a more active way rather than a passive way. Every card that's come out has that glow in it. The cards at the bottom of the deck, I mean, we have this one, masculine, feminine. I don't know if I'm necessarily counting it because that one feels a lot more abstract and not necessarily personalized or embodied. It's almost like that is what the Wackend has been watching, or that's what this Wackend has been waiting for. Because the witness that came out in the lower world was almost asking if our candle can stay lit in a time of darkness, in an environment of darkness, or in a period of darkness. When the world goes dark, shine brighter. And it's not any more difficult. It's almost like as long as the light is on, when the world gets darker, it will be brighter by contrast. So at that point, you kind of sort of just got to stay lit and not be snuffed out. But if in a dark world, it can be difficult to not be snuffed out. But that was 2020. When the world goes dark, shine brighter. So it's like yesterday's witness was seeing if the light could stay on in a time of darkness. Today's Wackend is seeing if a light is still visible in the daytime. And with this day star being here, it is. Sometimes we see the moon during the day. And maybe that's tied to this lunar third eye energy. I feel like I know what deck I would be tempted to use for this, but I don't have it anymore. That's one of the decks that have been rehomed. I've rehomed 6 decks. It's just like it's happening. First, I rehomed 3, and then I rehomed 2, and I most recently rehomed 1. So, and there's another, at least one that needs to be rehomed. Win and Feo are at the window with Mona and Wordhamer under that. So we have, this is an abundance, but it's typically one associated with the things that we take possession of. Win is an abundance that has no restrictions and limits. And then we have this Wordhamer with Mona. And there's like this recognition of the all potentially. And then after that, because these cards came so close to the top of the deck, the last pair would be Waterfall and Jifu, which is a gift of a mystical healing, or the generosity of mystical healing. And the only card after that is Windhorn, and it's the Unbound. And then behind Windhorn is Avil. Behind Avil is Bjork. An unbound birthright and what results from it. There's something about Mona, which used to be Kusma. I don't know why I'm going back to Kusma. There's something about Kusma and Wordhamer. It's almost like it helps us see the point and purpose behind a lot of things. And it also helps us see the purposelessness and pointlessness of some other things. It's like For some things, there are a reason why it happens. For some things, they just happen because we live on a planet where we have free will. And it's like everybody's got free will, regardless of the things that bind us or blind us. And so folks are going to use it how they want to use it, you know? Maybe that's why this. Oh, is that the. No, it's the counselor. I was like, is that the Queen of Water? The counselor with the Ace of Fire is under this thought. I think it's almost like it's this light above her head. It's a light that she's able to maintain regardless of rain or shine, and it's always visible. That empowers her to have a level of consideration, to maintain the ability to think regardless of the circumstance in life. Right? And maintaining the ability to think is like sometimes when things are challenging, we get triggered and we act before we even have the full ability to think. Or in a trigger, we can be consumed by one thing to the point where there are things that we don't even consider, where we think we don't have a choice. And then on the opposite side, sometimes when things are really good, it can be our fear of ruining it that we allow ourselves to slow down, stagnate, or to remain in a flow, even if that flow begins to sort of like peter out. Even if we know that it's time for us to change it up, change directions, move, because we found ourselves in a moment of comfort, we don't risk the unknown. And it's this thought who maintains her ability to think regardless. Even if she's upset, even if things are challenging, even if things are great and amazing. So thought may cause one to do something quite often that might not make sense to a lot of others. In both situations. And again, it's like it's that light that is on regardless. It's the light that can be seen regardless. And this is prophecy 3. Like we're 3 layers deep into the prophecy. So it's like it's living life. It's understandable. It's difficult to be in a state of constant empowerment, or it's to feel like we always have a choice, especially when things are challenging, or especially when we don't want to ruin a good thing, but we do. And this is for the one that recognizes that. But more than that, this is the one that continues to be their best, show up as their best throughout all of it, to be seen, invisible, and empowered regardless, and so much more. Because again, like this is the star that can be seen in the daytime. The only star that we typically see in the daytime is the sun. Now I could use the Angelarium. That's I wouldn't say biblically accurate necessarily. That's a Peter Moorbacher accurate. In Peter Moorbacher's universe, I have the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations that came out. The energy's been coming up with the Kabbalah Tree of Life. But I also have the Angelarium Year 2. It's giving me some Yaza. It's making me think of some Yaza. Like I'm trying to think of a deck that has an energy that's so bright that even when faced with blinding light, there's something that's even brighter. That could be the sun beyond the sun in the tarot apocalypsis. Is it Mithras? And how we associate, or how Helios Apollo has an association with the sun, but there is a sun that is much brighter than Helios Apollo. Like we know that our star, the sun, isn't even the brightest that exists. But oh, I gotta go to the restroom again. Woo, part two. I'll be right back. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing when I come back. So I'm gonna grab the watermelon alchemy. I had a thought to grab it earlier. I didn't think I'd use it. Thought is making me think of the alchemist. All of this is making me think of the alchemist, honestly. And that's not too surprising because again, I don't remember if it was the 8-8 or something before then, but it's like this is the reason why that energy of the alchemist being the one who was able to transmute things rather than being the one who can comb the beach for valuables that are just buried under the sand. Like there's a difference between searching the rough for diamonds and creating pearls out of sand. Right? So we'll just see what comes out, I guess. But also I was gonna say with the 6 of fire, again, that's why it's like that's part of the thing that makes us the 6 of fire rather than whatever. And it feels like there is a little bit of a gap here. It isn't necessarily spelled out besides for the 2 of air, but it's the 6 of fire who can, regardless of good times, bad times, whatever, maintain a position of sovereignty. And who can continue to show up. And again, it isn't always easy to do because life happens. Okay. Well-known alchemy, prophecy 3. What dost thou have for me? Or us? Oh, us. For those who could make adventure this deep into the land of world of prophecy and to see threads of truth if it resonates. Take it as it resonates when it resonates and don't if it don't, ever. Of course, it's Jupiter. Jupiter number 6 expansion. What else do we have? Ooh, who was that? Wolte Fakium, the despicable face, and Numa, breath. Breath from the despicable face. That's a whole bunch of self-fulfilling prophecies. But beyond that, it's almost like it's the energy of the one who, I don't even know if it's like they want help or they want for things to change, they want for things to be different, but all they do is like lament their circumstances. It's like it's saying what isn't going to happen, although they wish for anything but. And then it's like, I don't know, is somebody supposed to like take pity or feel sorry? And like, if you want help or need help, just ask for help rather than being like, oh, no one's going to help me do this or do that and blah, 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 blah. You know? Oh, who are you? Who this? Ooh, two cards. Well, that's my three. Bottom of the deck now is Aurum. Philosophical gold, baby. And Jupiter's got philosophical gold. More philosophical gold in one finger. Are these my pearls? This could also be philosophical gold up here. That's why that alchemist is so successful. Now we have Venus, and Kenneth Ash. Venus is number 33. No, Kenneth Ash is number 33. Venus is number 4. Gold is number 26. Jupiter is number 6. It's interesting that Ash is here because Ash was one of the first 3 Lafruma cards that came out. So we got our 2 Benefics and Ash. I would say that's a dependency upon good times to remain good. And it's like, oh, when things are good, of course, we're pleasant and kind and compassionate, right? When our own security isn't threatened, then of course we can show up and be big-hearted and kind-hearted and considerate and caring of others. But that almost came out, I think it did come out yesterday. Sometimes it is difficult situations, challenges, stress, and duress that reveal the truth of one's character. And today's character, Prophecy 3, is pleasant regardless, but is also unpleasant regardless. Because Prophecy 3 is not the one that's taken advantage of. It's both. So Jupiter, expansion, possibility, and fortune. Am I going to read the book? No, not for these. This Jupiter, Ash, and Venus, it feels like, again, it's a dependence upon good times to be good, and it's an inability to face challenge, or it's the natural difficulty of challenge that leads us to easily form a dependency on good times being good and everything in our world being right in order for us to be able to be visible, to shine, to have lumens or lazuli. But again, the gold at the bottom of the deck, that's the alchemist that is, it's golden always. Day or night, rain or shine, it doesn't matter. And even in the daytime, it's a day star. At night, it's even brighter. I think Jupiter being expansion almost implies that difficult times are unavoidable. Challenge is unavoidable for the one that wishes to grow, because it's through challenge that a lot of that growth happens. And challenge does not have to be, it's like challenge is just like moments and times where everything may not be seamless and perfect and harmonious. Challenge doesn't always have to be extreme difficulty to the point of like dark nights of the soul and everything else. It feels like there's a way to navigate challenge in which it doesn't become what it becomes for the one that is overwhelmed. by challenge. But again, like with Venus coming out with Ash, it's like it's our dependency for things to be good or whatever in order for us to feel grateful, appreciative, loved, cared for by the divine, that can become a hindrance to our growth and expansion. If every time we encounter a difficult moment, we shake our fists and become upset and angry with the divine, then that impacts our ability to learn and grow. Every card here, not every card, but most of the cards here, it's both. Rain or shine, this is the person that shows up and is open and available and learns. It's the alchemist that uses all metal, can turn any metal into gold. Metals that are atomically higher and metals that are atomically lower. You're not going to necessarily be given lead and tin and copper all the time, right? Sometimes you may be given carbon. You might be given plutonium or uranium. The alchemist can transmute anything into gold. And if that's the thing that one claims and one aspires to, then again, don't be surprised when challenges come, or don't be surprised when you're handed metals that aren't the ones that you're used to working with. If you truly want to grow and expand, then it's going to happen in multiple directions. Jupiter is not singular. Sagittarius, sure, because an arrow flies straight and true. But if you know anything about Pisces, and Jupiter is the ruler of both, Jupiter has an ability to expand again in all directions. It can go deeper in the way of Sagittarius, and it can be more expansive in the way of Pisces. It's both the sage and the teacher. It's the sage that isn't disconnected from reality in the world outside of the tower. But it's the teacher who, hey, that was my phone. I heard my phone from the other room. It's the teacher who has that higher level of knowledge and understanding, but can also communicate it and break it down. And that's what today's prophecy is all about. Yeah. I got about one more drink left. I have 3 decks on the table. We'll get one more. And again, like, it's not easy. I don't know of many prophecies, if any prophecies, that are necessarily easy. Has anyone ever received a prophecy that's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, just keep doing what you're doing? In real life, maybe. In all of the stories of prophecy, not necessarily. And now we have the Ace of Air. We've seen the Ace of Water. Well, the Ace of Water came out. We've seen the Ace of Fire. Here's the Ace of Air. The Ace of Air is making me think of the crown of Neptune because of the glyph of Neptune etched into the golden scarab bumblebee ankh cross thing on the third eye. Now we have the 11 of water, which is emotion and intellect. This is the meeting point of perspective and of emotions. There we see that lunar third eye again, but this one doesn't have the waxing and waning that makes it the triple goddess. We have our pearls, we have our air bubbles. Some of them are hearts. It's because we are loved that we find those moments of reprieve. Then we have the sage, speaking of the sage, and we have the 8 of water. Oh, snap. So there's our wolf spirit from this 24 faith card. But now instead of the heron, we have an owl. The owl can be also be the fourth egg. That could be the guy that we didn't see before, but it was the person. So that symbolizes the wisdom of the person. That's making me think of the Ten of Swords that came out the last time I used the Abyss Tarot. And it was the Ten of Swords that met their guide eye to eye, face to face, that was just as wise as the owl that guided them. Because at every point along the way, the sage has learned good and bad, light and dark. And there's also this like fire magic that's happening on the wand. That's very interesting. And then we have this Eight of Water that brings us Socratic alignment. We have this third eye in the Eight of Water that has characteristics of both the sun and the moon, the solar and lunar third eyes, if you can see. You see the rays on it, like the solar rays on it, even though it's blue and the background is the moon. Interesting. Yep. That was our teachers. The teacher of earth and water. The teacher, was it the teacher of earth and air? I think it was. The queen of earth and the queen of air. And then the ace of cups. That's what it was. It's gone. Bye-bye. This video is over. I just want you to know that in real life, it doesn't take me an hour to drink a cup. In real life, if there's a cup in front of me, I can't help but drink it. I have a drinking problem, but not because I can't stop drinking alcohol. It's because if there's a beverage in front of me, I just pick it up, be it water, juice, alcohol, pop, whatever. Starbucks. The Eight of Water, the 11 of Water, and the Sage, which is number 7 in this deck. Who's the bottom? Oh, yeah, the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Air. So that's Prophecy 3, I guess. Is there anything more to say about Prophecy 3? I guess I will say, like, feminine and masculine came out. Prophecy 1, because the Empress came out, had more of an emphasis on being able to receive. And it's interesting because in Prophecy 2, the Emperor came out, but before the Emperor came out, there was lightning, the tower, lightning, the vision quest, in the tower. So it was the Emperor's ability to tap into the realms of reception and then act upon it that made that Emperor so key for the Prophecy 2. And now here we see the balance of feminine and masculine. To be feminine when it requires masculine, when it requires light, when it requires dark, when it requires of spirit, when it requires of the material, when it requires to navigate that balance well within the self, and to be able to influence and affect one's experience, regardless of the circumstances that one finds oneself in, be they good or bad. Interesting. Cool. Now I'm going to get final messages. I'm going to put all of these cards back, and I'm going to get final messages probably in the order that I use them. Who was that? Somebody fell off the back of the table. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So possibly in 5 days, we're going to do the Pick a Prophecy because I work tomorrow and for the 3 days after that. And I mean, like I could do it in the morning after I get off work, but I'm not going to do it before I go into work because that wouldn't be a great idea. So, excuse me. I guess it depends. Faith is the card that fell out the back. I guess it depends on how I'm feeling in the morning. But this will be like, a few days for these prophecies to sit and percolate and whatever. Um, and then when I do the pick a prophecy, it might be pick a prophecy, pick a vessel, and then we'll see where it goes from there. We'll see. And like being a light in the dark and being a light in the daytime, obviously it means different things for different people, right? It doesn't necessarily look one way. What time is it? Like I work. Because I work the night shift, I can stay up all night. I'm like, oh, well, this would be the time I'd be working regardless anyway. So, yeah, because earlier I woke up at like 5 p.m. today, and my mom was like, oh, you got to go back to work tomorrow. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't go to work until 6. So if I can sleep until 5 and get ready before work, perfect. Like, I'm waking up right on time. What are you talking about? Usually I try to give myself an hour to get ready, but at least for now. So yeah, I'd say the Pinot Grigio is ranked 1, the Rosé ranked 2, and the Sauvignon Blanc ranked 3. Sauvignon Blanc was like, I will never choose to ingest that ever again. The Rosé, probably not. This one, definitely. Like, I'm not necessarily going to go looking for it, but if I'm at like a restaurant and I want a wine and they only have like, great wines, then this one was pleasant enough that I'll go for the Pinot Grigio because I didn't hate that. I didn't hate that one. So even though it's supposed to be minerally, maybe I should work with crystals. So, Lafruma, you will be the first one put away, apparently, because you were the last one together. Ooh, interesting. Now, last time Lafruma left us with Alchemize the Past. Today, Lafruma leaves. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing this card all day. I mean, Prophecy 3 was so heavily both energy and being able to operate in both, being able to exist within both, and not being lost, distorted, watched out, whatever. Dej again. And Hang True. Hang True was the card behind. How many times did I shuffle the Fruma? I think I only shuffled it once. Hang True was at the bottom of the deck. It might have been the card behind. It was an Aethel. And I think there was a card after the Birthright. Hang True is to see the truth of it. To see the truth and the things that are illuminated and even the things that are not. See, the trouble, the problem, the whatever with the Hanged Man is like when Odin hanged from the world tree, he had an agenda. So everything that Odin learned and everything that Odin sought, he did so with a purpose. And so instead of the runes offering everything that they had to offer to Odin, because of where he was, they only offered to him, or he only saw the things in them that were beneficial to him. in the ways that he could think to utilize them. So there's much of the truth of the runes that he didn't get. Hang true is to hang true and to see things for all that they are. The day encompasses both the times of the sun and the times of the night because we call one day 24 hours. The bottom of the deck is candle, day star. So it's the truth of what it means to be a day star or to be a star in the day. Cool. We'll leave it there. Oh, look, that's at 2442 again. I didn't even catch that. 2442 and then the 75 in between. 7 is 1 more than 6. 5 is 1 less than 6. 12 is 2 times 6. So hang true again, almost like because 7 and 5 is 12 and 2 is 4 is 6, it's able to account for both. More than just the things that we want or desire. To be open beyond that. And that's not a danger, because I feel like danger is not the right word, but that's something that's easy to do with energies that are so broad and that can incorporate or encapsulate or illuminate many things. It can be easy for us to see the things that we want to see. And it can be easy for us to channel them in the directions that we want them to flow and thus restrict them in ways or to prevent ourselves of learning all of the other things that they can do. So, Venerous. There's that wise salt again. Have a great night, Holly. Is that the fog? Nebula fog. It is. Why would it not be? Why would it be anything but fog? Neptune came out and you didn't even talk about the fog. You didn't even talk about illusion and trickery and deceit and stuff, because that's the human mind. That's not necessarily Neptune. Will Neptune show it to us? Yeah. But, Neptune ain't necessarily always the source as we would like for it to be. There are things and matters in which we are willingly ignorant because it protects our pride, because it protects our ego, because it makes us think of ourselves as holy or just or not the bad person in whatever story or narrative. There are a lot of things that we can't own up to. And Neptune may show it to us. Neptune may go along with our delusion, but it ain't always the source. Sometimes maybe, sure, to be fair, but not always. That's a people thing. And that's the people not wanting to see the truth thing. And so if you don't want to see the truth, then of course you're going to listen to and believe lies. Okay. Anyway. Neptune didn't even come. It was on the King of Water. All right. Well-known alchemy. It's given us Saturn. Saturn has gold at the tip of its longest finger, the middle finger. There's also the scythe because Saturn was associated with agriculture. Saturn is associated with growth. Saturn is all of those things that, like watering the plants and tilling the soil and everything that we don't necessarily want to do. All of the work that goes behind making a good thing reality, where we just like want. It's that consumption culture. It's that instant gratification of Venus and Jupiter that, again, we so desperately crave and want, because, I got enough lazy in me, not even Taurus in my chart. I got enough lazy in me. If I could just get a whole bunch of stuff, that's a lot of work I probably wouldn't do. But Saturn is a giver just as much as it demands. Bottom of the deck is Pluton in reverse. Not that I necessarily take these in reverse. Saturn and Pluto. There's almost this reaping of rewards that we didn't necessarily expect. Because when we go about things in the proper way with Saturn, there are also things, there are byproducts that we didn't necessarily expect or plan for with Pluto. Because there's gold in this dark palm. And then here we see the gold in between the light and the dark, just like that two of air. I'm not even going to focus it. At this point, it's fine. The video is closing. Like, that's all that. It's almost like by virtue of who we are as a person type of energy, right? That's almost very like you are kind, considerate, and compassionate, even when no one was watching, even when you had no reason to be. This ain't necessarily people pleasing. Don't get me wrong. But it's like you're a good person behind closed doors when no one's watching. When you don't think anyone's watching, but someone or something always is. This is the divine rewarding you. So take it. Don't feel like you're not worthy or you're not deserving because of blah, 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 whatever. Like, you planted the crop, you tended to it, you nurtured it, and you got a yield that may be bigger than the one that you expected. It's still a result of your hard work. It's still yours. You still earned it. You still deserve it. Take it. And it's because of that discipline when it doesn't necessarily, like, it's because of that discipline when one doesn't necessarily have to be disciplined, that Pluto would ever reward anything. Pluto, through rulership of Scorpio, through association with the underworld, sort of, it's just like, it's that energy of like when no one's looking or watching or whatever. They say that no good deed goes unpunished, but that's the energy of no good deed goes unrewarded. Now, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Hey, I'm focused again. Woo-hoo. We focus for the Dreams of Gaia. There's my King of Water at the cut with the 10 of Air, the one that peeks from beyond the void. The one that's like, oh, somebody said that they're ready? What? Someone said that there's a vessel that is capable and a heart that is open and a mind that is set on working and creating. What? Hands that wish to build that which does not yet currently resist or exist. The Two of Air is the final card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. With all those eggs, the bottom of the deck is the Six of Earth. Did I say the Two of Air? The Two of Earth. And the Six of Earth. Look, we see our scythe again. The scythe is the thing that's used to harvest quickly, efficiently. So it could be a season of, like, a season of abundance, but it's like harvest after harvest after harvest. Maybe there were many seeds planted over a period of time. And there's a first wave of bloom and growth, and the second and the third. And before you know it, there's probably more than you can do with on your own. And it's offering the fruits of their labors. There's also a sword in the back pocket. There's a lock and a key, both there. So again, that is fueling, validating, clarifying, verifying, supporting that self-governing energy. For what is locked within the self, it can be unlocked within the self. Two of Earth, Six of Earth, with the journey. Cool. So I hope you'll have an amazing whenever you see this. Thank you, Just Muffin, Holly, and David for being here. I hope that you are acting in alignment to make all that you wish to receive your reality. I hope that your intuition, discernment, guidance, knowledge, wisdom, ancestors, guides, angels, crew, team lead you in a way that you can recognize, regardless if that leads you to challenge or into ease, and that you may ever continue along whatever path you are on, regardless of the times you find yourself in, but that you don't judge yourself too critically or harshly in times of difficulty, overindulge in times of goodness, but also at the same time that you allow yourself to enjoy it, because that's what it's for. It's for enjoyment. And the next time I see you will be pick a prophecy. Oh, look, there's like a drop left. Now it's empty. As empty as it's going to be. Yeah, that was prophecy 3. I'm not quite yet sure what I'm gonna. Maybe it'll be like the one that walks in both realms or walks between realms or something like that. Probably, honestly, actually, I'm gonna title it that right now. And could I do that after the video ends? Yeah. Am I gonna do it after the video ends? No. So, one. Oh wait, the one who walks between realms. There you go. And I will catch you next time. Oh, I'm trying to end it, but there's this change of save. There we go. Bye.